Hello folks and welcome to Scottish Vapes once again. Now, not too long ago I brought you guys the Ijoy XL. Today I'm going to bring you a close look, because I did only get this yesterday. It is the Limitless Ijoy XL tank. Now, this is basically like the Tornado and the RDTA Plus crammed together to make this really epic tank. Now, I'm only doing a quick look for just now, as I'm only just trying to get to grips with it. I'll show you what you get inside the packaging, and I'll give you some specs and things like that on the tank itself. But as far as pros and cons go and my thoughts, that will be left for the full review, which I will do in a week's time. So let's dive down into the packaging. Now, this is the packaging for your Limitless XL, which it will come in. Very standard for Limitless or Ijoy or whoever the fuck does the packaging, whatever it is. I really don't care. I just love the packaging. Some specs there on the tank itself. You can take a look at that, pause it if you need to, have a reread. Authenticity code right down at the bottom. This will give you an example of what you're going to get in it. So you're going to get a pre-made coil, 0.15, rated from 50 to 215 watts, a single deck RTA, and a dual deck for your RTA. And it also has a bottom airflow in a fan design, which I will show you guys in just a moment. Now, once you slide that little thing off, you will get inside your packaging. Ooh, that was a bit loud. Now, that's where your tank would be, obviously. Here you have your spare glass, and inside the spare glass you will get a nice little bag of goodies. Now, you've got some cotton, a 510 drip tip, which I will show why in a minute, O-rings, post screws, you name it. You have everything right off the bat to ensure that you can vape. All you need is juice. That's all you need. Now, the reason they give you a 510 drip tip is because they give you a 510 drip tip adapter. So once you screw off the chuff cap, which is what comes on it, you can screw this in, use the 510 drip tip that they've given you, or you can use your own, which I think is a big plus, because not a lot of companies do that. Now, I'm going to show you my favourite RTA deck, which is the single coil, just for the sheer fact it's got that juggernaut coil on there. Let's see if I'll focus in for you guys. But I think if I was right, this was a 3mm coil. And what you do is you take this, you put your wick in there, screw the top back on, screw it into the bottom of the tank as you would normally with a normal pre-made coil, and add some juice and you're away. The dual coil, basically the same thing. Take off the cap, and I think these are also 3mm diameter coils as well. All you need to do is add your juice and you're away. Add your wick, sorry, and juice obviously, and you can stick that back into the deck as normal, into the tank, sorry, and add your juice and your wick, and you can vape straight away. What I have noticed is that this tank does wick very, very fast. So you've got the two RTAs, your drip tip adapter, your glass, and I don't know if you can see that, but you do get a little Phillips head screwdriver in there as well. So that is the packaging also done and dusted. Ooh, this is not going to go in. I don't know why I do this. I just seem to want to... that's why. Yeah. There we go. Anyway, to the tank itself. So, 25mm diameter tank. You have your chuff cap here, which, even though it doesn't have a lot of space to grip on, it is very easily removed. So there is your chuff cap right there. And obviously on the inside, top fill, you have quite large gaps to put your juice into. Now, if I screw off the whole tank, I will show you the fan airflow that they're all talking about, which is this right here. So you can close it off like so, giving no airflow at all, or you can have it open. Personally, I like it wide open. I don't really mess around with airflow that off that much. The coil in this, as I've said before, is a 0.15 resistance coil, and it is quite a beefy coil at that. Now that is your pre-made coil right there. See down at the bottom there. Not if you'll be able to read that. Oh, it's not going to focus. But it does say 0.15 volt resistance, 50 to 250 watt XLC4 tank. So I'll screw this back in here, and this does have a little bit of a, I think it's a cool feature. It might be a con to some people, as it may take up some battery life and things like that, but I don't really care. I think it looks pretty cool. It's different to what other tanks and things like that of this nature are doing at the moment, and that is when you fire it, let's see the bottom, it lights up. So yeah, it might take up some of your battery life, but who gives a shit? It looks good. So I'm rocking this right now at 120 watt. But I'm gonna take a vape like this just now, but then I'm gonna knock it down to its very basic 50 watt range, and then build it up and up and up. Actually, no, we'll start at 50 watt. That's fair. I'm not gonna start at something and then go down and then go back up again. That's just stupid. Right, so here we go. 50 watt on the new Ijoy Limitless XL. So, I mean, you're not going to get the full potential of this coil at 50 watts, so I'm going to crank it up to say 75. So I know a lot of my friends have 75 watt boxes, single 1860 devices, things like that. They don't really like to vape higher than that, so that's what you can do at 75 watt. Again, it does crack out some really great flavour, and as you can see, the vapour production at 75 watts isn't that bad. I wouldn't say, it's not for me. I mean, I prefer something that does chuck a good cloud. Higher wattage, I'm a power geek in that sort of sense, but in all seriousness, I think that's not too shabby if you had a 75 watt device and you wanted something that would give you good flavour and things like that. So let's crank this thing up to 100. Right, so we've got 100 watt. As you can see, again, much more vapor reduction. It's starting to get into its, you can start to feel it's getting into where it should be in terms of power. At 50 and 75, anything around that ballpark, you do feel it can do more, it can take more punishment, which is exactly why I'm going to now bump this up to 150. Okay, so there's 150. The next stop will be 200. It's starting to get a bit, it's starting to struggle. I wouldn't say struggle, I'd say getting hot. It's a hot vape at that 150 watt range. 120, 110, between 100 and 120 is where I like to vape this. So yeah, next stop, 200. Actually, you know what? Screw that. Let's go to its full maximum, 215 watt. Okay, so here we go. 215 watt. Its maximum range of this tank coil will do. Let's try it. Wish me luck. Okay, I was starting to get a bit of a dry hit there. But who's, let's be honest, who is going to vape at 215 watt all of the time? So let's bring this back down to 120. So there we go, 120. Let's try this. and that there for me is perfect. It's not too hot a vape. It's not too hot. It's not really pushing the coil to its outer limit to where it's going to give you a dry hit. I think this is a really, really good tank from what I'm seeing so far. Just fill this up for just a second. It is starting to get quite hot on me here, but at 200 watt, can you really blame it? No. Very easy to fill when you've got a bottle like this. A unicorn bottle would do the justice just right. And before you know it, all 4 mils are in the tank and are ready to be vaped on. So we'll just screw our chuff cap back on there. And it's vaping a dream. Prices on this, I got this from a local shop called the Vapor Lounge for £32, which I think is quite reasonable for this, considering before you even buy anything extra for this, such as coils and things like that, you have everything you need off the bat to get vaping. It's brilliant. Other than that, guys, I will put a link in the description if you want to purchase this. Now, before I do a review on it, in other news, because I'm done with this just now, I have the Horizon Arctic V12 on the way. Hopefully, it does come with their brand new 24 coil, which says it will do up to 300 watts, which is getting onto the top end of what this mod can actually do, which I am very excited to even try, because I've never vaped at 300, so I am very, very intrigued to see if it can actually do that. But yes, as soon as I get it, I will do a quick look video for that as well. In a week's time, I will come back to the Limitless XL tank and do a full review, guys. So enjoy the rest of your day. Do whatever you need to gotta do. Keep on vaping, guys, and I'll see you next time.